Love to hear it. So I'm just getting my join link on the post, and then I'll send it over to you guys so you can get it pinned. And I know that helps some people who are kind of on the road because. So just 2 seconds here, boys. And again, appreciate the flexibility. Daylight savings, I mean, always kind of messes things up because we had a pretty busy start to the week and then everything's like an hour early. And as people were booking in, yeah, so it just kind of messed things up. So I do have to say, really appreciate you guys being so understanding with the timing side of things. I know the first 3 days around, daylight savings always messes up everything because half the world does. I know, well, not half the world, most of the world doesn't follow, and we all go on UTC time. But then here, me being on Eastern Standard in Canada, we do. So my timing is like kind of all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, I think we change our times on the 26th of March over here, so it's a bit crazy how it all.
Oh my God! So it comes through. I don't even understand it. I still don't understand why they do it. Personally, it just messes things up. As I've gotten older and had to, accommodate and work around different time zones, I'm just starting to understand what my parents said when I was a kid, being like, "This is a stupid idea."
Well, I think in the end we just get more sunlight, so.
Yeah, exactly. So let me know if you guys are throwing the website up for the branding or anything in the background, just to have the Lunatics kind of logo or anything up behind us during the AMA.
I think Johnny can maybe do that. Well, I mean, all our links are on our. If you get to our TG, then all our links are there as well.
Set up everything there. We got the Telegram. We got all the posts up: Telegram, Twitter, white paper, Panckaceswap, everything on both the posts. And I got my link now added in, so we should be good. And again, I'm just waiting. If you guys did want to throw the website up, I mean, I personally like it just from a branding perspective. During the AMA, so I'll give you a minute or two to set that up, Johnny, if you're able. If not, let me know, and we can obviously kickstart the recording on the audio side, and then anything you wanted showcased or screen shared, you could always drop that to me in DMs, and I could get it posted in the comments section.
No worries, thank you, man.
I've heard Johnny, so I don't know if he's.
I've just messaged him to. Oh, he might not be there yet. Not too sure.
Yeah, I was trying to get it. I'm on my mobile, so it's being a Telegram is giving me grief.
Oh, that might. Yeah, I know the Telegram was. I don't know what happened. I got kicked off when I was in the middle of writing that post that you see, just saying that the VC is open. And then when I came on, like, I don't know if you saw that post I put up, but I posted it and all my space buttons were like converted to subtext saying like something div. And I was like, what is going on with Telegram?
It dropped my call 3 times trying to jump into this one. I would click join and my whole Telegram would shut down and try. It took me 3 times to get in.
Got my fire alarm notice just stopped coming off as it started again. What a day. All right. Yeah. And Johnny, we'll give you some time again. I know Telegram's been a little bit fidgety in the last like 10 minutes for me too. So if you do end up, not being able to get that up, that's okay. If there's anything you guys, like I said, just wanted me to showcase throughout the AMA, I could also just make sure it gets dropped into the comment section for people to follow along with it easily.
Yeah, I was trying to share my screen onto the web page, but it's not letting me do it.
Let me get. Let me try and do that.
Beautiful. I see something. It's turning its wheels. All right, we got you there. Let me start off with the recording. Lunatics Token.
Yeah, and if people want more in-depth write-up of our project, they can check out our white paper.
Yeah,
on the
I
site
dropped
as
that
well.
on both of our posts as well, just with the link directly to the white paper. So if they click that, they'll be able to pull it up in a separate tab and follow along. So if you guys are ready, I see Sega's screen is still live, so I think we're good. So officially wanted to say thank you guys again for taking the time. Appreciate the flexibility there from the Lunatics team. I know we were supposed to have this AMA prior to the pre-sale or the fair launch going live yesterday, but with daylight savings and everything, really appreciate the flexibility. Walk you guys back even before this ETH fair launch went live yesterday. As Seg and I were trying to figure out exactly when we had these guys in last for the AMA, I did my little search. It was back on the 28th of July. So again, it's been some time since we've had the chance to hang out with them. I remember I spent some time with them in VC as well over on their Telegram too. So it's really nice to get to connect. The BSC version of this one is still live. And walking you guys back to the history, they did fair launch around July 20th and closed out around the 25th. And I mean, all-time high on the BSC side from fair launch was, I think, over a 20x, if I'm not mistaken. So again, you guys did really well. And that was towards the end of the summer when, the whole Luna Terra collapse happened. And there was a lot of these projects trying to help out and support the community. And obviously you guys have been able to. The fact that you're still here today, 8-9 months later, you guys have been able to set yourself aside and, part as one of the top burning mechanisms and projects supporting the Luna Classic burn. So again, I do want to touch on that because it's really cool to see that, again, you're still kicking. You've been able to really identify and find that niche that you were looking for that we talked about back in July when we hosted you. And now from a development perspective, things are going to ramp up as most projects do. You have your fair launch going on the ETH side of things, absolutely smashing the raise. I mean, the last time I checked, you're around just under 150 ETH. So well over what you were expecting. I think even from talking to a few people who know the project well, it was quite a positive surprise and a great shock to see, all the support just on day one, because you guys will be running this one for about 5 more days. So again, there's a lot to come now that you guys are, been around for a while, are going to go multi-chain. You guys are going to be looking to implement a DEX. That's something that I'm really curious about. You guys also have your Lunati wallet that's going to come into the ecosystem. And I mean, for me, it's going to be definitely cool to see how the utilities and how some of the functionality that you guys build up around this one just goes to further supporting the mission, right? Which is, helping with the burn of Luna Classic. And yeah, again, I'm excited to touch on some of the specifics. Again, any mechanisms you guys are going to maybe build out that's custom to you here at Lunatics, that can just further support your goal and just further kind of intertwine, within the community of Luna, which again, one that it was massive globally, was getting investments in the hundreds of millions from hedge funds and stuff. So again, was a lot of real world attention around this ecosystem. So if they could be part of helping to get it to, where it once was in the eyes of consumers, like that's obviously going to be a really good look for the team. So again, I kind of treat this one a little bit more big picture because yes, obviously Lunatics is their own individual project. They have the Lunatics Token, but the mission and the goal here is to also help support that larger ecosystem that is Luna Classic. So yeah, again, for me, I'll throw the mic here to the team. We got Sega, we got Duncan, and we have Johnny joining us again. And yeah, we'll start with a personal introduction because it has been a few months, and then we'll jump back right into let's start with the backstory, I think, for the project. We'll start with how the last couple of months have been, and then we'll touch on the fair launch, and then we'll go towards the future if that works, guys, for kind of like a formatting style.
Yeah, no worries. So I mean, just to touch on, like, obviously, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people know the story behind Lunatics. But for those that don't, obviously the team came together through bad experiences from other projects, and I know a lot of people can relate to that. And it was at the time, the idea kind of came about at the time of the lunar crash, like you said. So not only did we want to connect and relate to that particular community, but obviously I think everyone's experienced like numerous bad projects, and have lost money with kind of like bad projects, bad characters behind them. So that's why we kind of come together. We believed we could kind of do something better, and the very least that we could offer was a project that was based around honesty and transparency. And obviously the team would work tirelessly to truly have the holders' interest at heart. So we just wanted to create a safe environment to invest, and that's basically the main idea how Lunatics came about. But since then, so much has happened. Like you said, like we had all-time highs of like 20 million. The community's been building ever since. We've got such a huge and a strong community that really kind of sticks together. And but we put things in place to not only just to talk about transparency and honesty. Like we put like functions in place, like the whole team's docs. We've never had anything to hide from the beginning. There's multiple multi-sig wallets, to protect the project funds and tokens the project may be holding. So, the whole community can see them wallets, and they can see exactly what we're doing with the project funds. So yeah, that's basically what Lunatics was about at the start. And obviously we was a meme token. There was very little utility to begin with, and gradually since then, obviously we've been building the last 7 months, and then we've got another rollout now about the next roadmap. And so if I just touch on what we've done so far, we've got a full partnership now with Exodus Metaverse, and as that builds out over the next couple of months, that's going to play a huge part in how Lunatics is going to function. Also, that's going to contribute to the revenue generation for the project. We've had 2 staking pools live for our holders to take advantage of, and the numbers there are like crazy, especially for a so-called meme token. I think 30% of the supply is locked up, and I think 80% of that is locked up for a whole year. So it's a vote of confidence from the community. They've kind of repaid our hard work and with their kind of loyalty. Just the holding as well, like the holders have benefited from the LUNC rewards that we offer. I think it totals from launch, I think we've given out over $1 million in Lunar Classic to our holders. So they've benefited from that. And like with our association with Lunar Classic, and like that kind of the community that we first kind of like set the trail with, we've achieved quite a bit, to be honest. We were the #1 burner of Lunar Classic in a very short amount of time. We obviously, once Binance and the on-chain burn started, obviously we're now in 3rd, but still that's a great achievement in the time that we had to do it. We've got our Terra validator over there, so obviously you can stake with our own Terra validator. We've been planning to launch on the Terra chain, but obviously it's been delay after delay. Not down to us. We're ready to go. It's just obviously with the on-chain updates and all the kind of stuff that's been going on over there. We're just waiting for that to get all completed. We're on the oversight committee, which literally does what it says on the tin. We oversight the future plans of the chain, and yeah, we're going to continue the burns once we get on chain. We'll ramp it up once we're on chain as well. So there's been so much that's been going on, and obviously now looking to the future, we've got, like you mentioned, Luniswap, our own DEX. That's kind of ready to go. We've got the Lunatics wallet that you mentioned as well. That's going to come shortly after, and that's then going to roll into kind of a full kind of one-stop banking system. So like real world use case for our utility, for our holders. So I can only see growth in the future. We've kind of made all these promises and we've committed to them and we've kind of kept them. And I think that the community kind of echoes that we've earned the trust over the last 7 months. The project remains fully transparent and it's going to continue. And yeah, we're excited to see where the future brings.
And again, I do want to jump in there because a few of the things you just mentioned, I hope people are paying attention to some of those details, right? Because those are some pretty big accomplishments to hit, and to be on that list, behind major exchanges as the top burners, that's an accomplishment of itself. So I have to, before Sega or Johnny jump in, I do have to just say congrats, guys, on what you've been able to do so far, especially in support of your vision towards like the Luna Classic community and that burn.
Yeah, thanks. I mean, basically, we always wanted to. It's like I said, it wasn't just about the Luna community. Obviously, that was a huge community that was hurt and damaged at the time. But I mean, everyone's got their own story about a project that they've been in, and and felt that it's been dishonest, and and they've been hurt by the project financially, mentally, whichever. We've all experienced it. So we wanted to connect with every single person that's had a bad experience in the space. I mean, there's loads of people out there right now that are trying to clean up the space, and we're happy to work with anybody that's got that intention. But yeah, I mean, any person you speak to in the space has got a story to tell you about a bad experience.
100% agree. I mean, I have a few myself, so I definitely put myself on that list.
Yeah, I mean, Johnny's probably got a lot more to say about where. I mean, we're a meme token. We always knew we was going to be a meme token, but obviously, we felt that with the way we were going to run the project, we can definitely build on a community, and that's exactly what we've done. We've got an amazing community, super loyal to the project, and we owe it to them just as much to ourselves, to fulfill all our promises. We're going to try and take that next step, and Lunatics is going to grow up a little bit. I don't know if Johnny wants to take over. And
I do want to touch on the meme aspect, right? So, because they're right now, like I know, looking at the website, looking at the roadmap, like a few of the things you'll notice is, it is a little bit of utility discussion, right? Obviously with the DEX and the wallet and some of the other things you guys are looking to bring into play here, but how do you just make sure you keep kind of that starting point, that community mentality really ingrained, like throughout, even if you do add utilities or other aspects of the project in?
Well, I think how we're doing that is we started off as a meme. We didn't have utility. We built community, and we kept building our community. And instead of, the market went sour for a while there, and we just started building and engaging with our community like on a regular basis. So then we brought in our partnership with Exodus, the gaming metaverse, and there's actually more utility than just gaming in it. And that brings that community element again, and it's steady growing the community. The utilities that we're building are for our community, but yet they're not limited to our community. So it's trying to bring everybody into one place. Like, I've been in the space for a while. I know how to get my fiat into crypto, get it out of crypto, and so on. But a lot of new people, and we onboarded a lot of new people over the last 7 months, they don't know how to do all this stuff, and it's a lot of hassle. So the idea was to bring everything into one. That's why our DEX swap, you will be able to do all your staking, liquidity farming, token swapping. Our wallet, you'll hold your tokens, you'll be able to buy with fiat, sell to fiat, crypto MasterCard, and so on. And the crypto banking, lending and borrowing, that's just making a real world payment solution as well. And it was just to bring utility like that. These utilities are there in the space, and they're scattered all over the place, but to bring it into one house and build on a community of it. And because we are fun, we like to have fun, and we engage with our community, I think we'll just grow like that.
Awesome. Now I know, I mean, obviously you have a strong community and you have a strong vision here in place, or you wouldn't still be here after 8 months, right? So I do kind of want to, some of the things we'll touch on. I mean, that's, I think, an obvious thing people, I hope, pick up on throughout is, you wouldn't be looking to do the additional development and add utility into a project like this unless you, again, can foresee it fitting into, fitting into the Luna Classic ecosystem over time, just to be able to continue to support that, but also continuing to kind of set your own brand apart. So
Yeah,
I
like
mean, I love
I
the
didn't
answer,
touch
but I
a
hope people
little.
just kind of see that, they should understand, like, community is obviously been a focal point here because it's been 8 months and so many projects die after one, let alone this long. So it's just, you guys have done a great job.
Yeah, like crypto, if you've been in it for long enough, you know that crypto, all currencies have community. Like there's the Bitcoin community, the Ethereum community, and they build on the community, and that's how you expand. It's just the way the space is. So you have to have a good foundation of community, and they support you. Like our community right now, we don't even have to be in there to educate new users coming in. Our community does it. They're passionate about the project. They've taken the time to learn about the project, and we're open with them so they know everything going on with the project. So that helps us as well. And then there's a serious side to it, like the Luna Classic community. Yes, we're very involved with that too. Lunatics is actually a member of the Layer 1 Community Oversight Committee for the Luna Classic community. And so we're involved with the Layer 1 development team and know what's going on there and where they're heading for. And even they also say Layer 2 projects are the key to the success of the chain. And that's what we are, as a Layer 2 project. And we are going multi-chain. It increases our user base. We can bring more community members in. So like we do have that fun side, we have the serious side, and then we have the middle ground as well.
And I think you guys are definitely covering off, like you said, your different bases. So that's really good to hear. Now going, I guess, do you want to spend a little, I mean, I think you highlighted a good portion about what you've accomplished so far, where you guys rank on the Luna Classic burn board. And I guess we'll kind of move towards right now what's upcoming. So why the decision to go multi-chain? I think that's kind of one of the things that I was curious about myself. I know I kind of asked Supremo on the back end when we were chatting, and love to kind of hear what you guys' thoughts are on that.
Well, we have users from different chains, and they've come onto BSC because of us, and then we've had BSC users go into Terra Classic because of us. So we wanted one location where you could do all this and use our chain, like for improved interoperability and spread our utility throughout the chain. So because of what we're bringing on for utility, like the banking, the real world banking payment solution, the fiat on and off ramp, it makes sense to go multi-chain so users from all over the space can utilize our utilities, and it benefits obviously our project, our community, and it will grow as well. Our gaming metaverse, Exodus partnership, they are actually a multi-chain metaverse, so you're not limited to one specific blockchain token inside the metaverse. And the NFTs, they can be integrated from all chains as well. The staking pool, like we have a large community loves staking, so they want to stake on every blockchain possible, and we'll bring that all to them. This is just the demand of our community, actually.
So now from the staking standpoint, like what types of returns have you guys been seeing across like what's currently available, and then like maybe where would you look to offer if you are staking across multiple chains? Because for me, staking and sustainability are so like if you are going to do some form of staking program, it has to be sustainable. I mean, I'm cool if it's like 1% a day, as long as that 1% is sustainable, right? So that's kind of where my question stems. So what have you seen so far, and then what would you, I guess, look to offer?
It definitely was a learning curve because we never anticipated how strong of support we were going to get. especially starting off as like a meme token. So we had allocated a lot of rewards for staking, but never expected it to be consumed so quickly. So that's where our tax system comes in play too. We buy back tokens for staking. We have penalties for early withdrawals, and our DEX, the fees and stuff from our DEX and wallet will go back to some of it to project, just enough to maintain costs and development, and the rest kind of gets to rewarded to LP stakers, yield farmers. It's coming back that way. Our metaverse revenue, same thing. I guess we're kind of focusing on passive income for our investors. The project itself doesn't need to run in extreme profit. It needs to run in sustainability, where it can pay for its bills and development, and it will grow. The market cap will grow, the whole project's value will grow, but the income is being divided among its investors or shareholders. So from the first experience on BSC, we did learn a little bit how
I remember kind of
supportive
following
they are.
along back then, because you know I was a little bit more off. Obviously, after the AMA back then, I was following what happened. So that's why I wanted to ask. And you know what, I just love how transparent and open you guys kind of are about the experiences that you've had, because you know I've sat on this stage and I've known things about projects, and when asking kind of more basic questions, they're just really allowing those who haven't followed or seen to have the same knowledge base to know how you guys improved and grew. You know, I've had people kind of come on and sugarcoat answers. So again, I just love the realness of what you just said, Johnny, and how it's been a learning process, because again, going forward, it's still gonna probably be a bit of a learning process as you guys go across different chains, right? As market conditions and stuff like that continue to shift. And I believe also you guys have slightly, if I'm not mistaken, changed up your tax structure a little bit on this, where you've dropped it down to 8% now.
Yes, like that's the thing with people that are stuck in their ways are not going to get anywhere. I come from a business and marketing background, and you got to adapt, and crypto changes fast. And this staking, like we have 32 billion coins staked, which say was a little bit off on its percentage. It's not 32%. It's actually closer to 47% of our circulating supply, but it's 32 billion tokens. And that is overwhelming. Like nobody could have anticipated that. So because of that, we have taken that into consideration and now have to adjust our staking models and that too. But they'll always be lucrative, because the whole purpose was for our shareholders, investors, to make money and grow the whole project's value that way.
Yeah, it's never been about individuals. It's all, the project has always been looked at. Like I said earlier, it's the aim was the team was going to work tirelessly, but to work for the holders. You know, we're holders. There's no team tokens. There's, you know, on the BSC side when we launched, there was no team tokens. Whatever was invested in the project to begin with was all out of like the holders' pockets, our pockets. It was never set up to kind of like feed a team. It was always targeted to for the investor to feel safe to invest, create an environment, and know that the team are working tirelessly to create a project where we all benefit together.
Yeah, I mean, I like your approach, and I've obviously watched you guys scale and have success last year and really stay active with the community. And the first response I said to like oh my God, not again.
Yeah, I mean, just off the back of that, yeah, the support that we've been
I had
getting.
the fire alarm going off literally all day within our condo. We're moving out of this place in like a month, but it cannot be quick enough. Anyway, sorry. I was gonna say I've seen you guys like really working hard back then to deliver. And even when I was talking to Supremo, who helped you guys out with marketing, and he was like, yeah, so we got this AMA coming in, and he's like, Lunatics. And I was like, wait, OG Lunatics team, like ones I worked with in the summer? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, dope. Like, that's cool. Like, that for me is really, I've seen just so much stuff in the space. If I can work with people who we worked with in the past, again, I am not a chart guy. I am a, are you there guy? Did you disappear on your community? No. Are you still active? Yes. Okay. I'll give you my support. Like everything I feel like in crypto and in DeFi sometimes for the detriment of the space is so much about a chart. And yes, I get it. There's money involved. People are investing. That's fine. But
Yeah.
there's other factors I personally look at when it comes to the space. And it's like, are you there? Do you care? Have you tried
Yeah.
to make changes? Have you tried to take feedback from the community and implement it if it makes sense? Yes. Okay. Like those things are stuff about the project here that, you know, I definitely like to see. So again, you know, a little bit of a rant, sorry about that, but I do just have to touch on it because there's so much crap that I have to put up with. It's nice when I've been able to follow and see and know a team from, you know, months past. And regardless
Yeah.
of chart, you guys are trying to make changes and improve the project for the community, and that's what we want to see, right? So awesome.
I mean,
Love it.
we all know that a lot of investors, they're in for a quick buck. They come into a project, they buy into a pre-sale, they look for quick exits. We understand that's the space, and you know, I've done it before, and I'm sure others will do it as well in different projects. So, but you know, when you find a project and you know what we're trying to create and the feel that we're going with, you know, it's a long-term thing. There's no doubt, you know. And I think what we've built and the community that has surrounded us, and they've showed their support and loyalty, and we continue to work hard. I think it's just a recipe for success.
Let's get into the, you know, I kind of asked this question a little bit in my introduction, but some of the utilities you guys are looking to ramp up, like, will there be a, you know, the DEX instead of maybe a micro transaction being sent back to the team or to the project to continue on the development? Do you guys have to plan for like the micro transaction to be used to buy and burn back Luna Classic? Because that's very much like on brand with what you're trying to support. So like, that's really where I want kind of the next part of the discussion to go, if that's all right, guys.
Yeah, we are still going to burn Luna Classic, and I'm not sure how we're going to do with our DEX transactions, so on, but any extra profits, we do have a tax for that, for delegating and burn, because the delegating is providing liquidity to the Luna Classic chain. It actually has low liquidity. It's $1 billion blockchain, has 5 million liquidity. By delegating 50% to the delegator, it's adding liquidity on chain, and burning the other, it's beneficial for both. Like a lot of the Moon Boys don't see that. They think, oh, just burn. There is not one project or entity that's going to be able to afford to burn enough supply just by straight out buying it and burning it to make a big difference. The key, especially speaking with the layer one team, is bringing development to that chain, bringing utilities, like migrating our DEX and our wallet, integrating it with that chain, and creating that transactions, that volume to increase the tax burn system that's built into the chain now. And that's kind of where we're going towards. We're always going to do our burns, but we're going to try to bring more utility that increases volume on chain to increase burns. Because right now, Luna Classic, probably 80%, if not more volume, is done on exchanges. And out of that, only Binance burns up their trade fees. No one else does. So it needs to shift that volume onto the chain.
Morris, quickly jump in and say that 17 Dog is here and he'd like to say a couple of words as well, if we can unmute him.
I know 17. Let's get him in here. I saw his hand up earlier. I wasn't sure if it was somebody from the community team there or just somebody trying to get a question in, maybe be first one in for a question during the Q&A. So I never know, but I appreciate you letting me know, guys.
No, this is 17 armed man.
Yeah, and just
how's everybody doing?
yes, I was going to finish. Go for it, 17. Did you have something to say?
No, y'all are hitting it.
All right, cool. Yeah, just off
I
the back of
mean,
what,
how many times have we done this and we trained for it? So
yeah, you and Pace
born and bred for it.
yeah, just off the back of that, obviously, once we the current updates for the Terra chain are completed, then we will definitely be like one of the leading projects on there. We will be one of the first to go on chain, and obviously our extra transactional tax that we put towards the burn that will contribute more, as well as the obviously as much utility on chain is going to create the volume, like Johnny said, and yeah, so you know, hopefully we'll be a leading light there as well.
So let me walk us why don't you guys walk us through timelines? Now I don't want specific dates, I don't really need that, but like what's next? Like the fair launch is gonna run. I should probably in my
Yeah,
computer got destroyed. Let me see, 17th it runs to. I know I said four or 5 more days, but 17th officially is when it's gonna run until 5 p.m. UTC is when it's gonna close out on the 17th. So walk us through kind of like the timelines after that. Like, so when do you guys expect to have some of the utility dropping? What's expected to drop first, just so people can get into the right mentality? Because the one thing that sometimes happens is you don't want a successful fair launch to lose momentum and
Sure.
have that sell off that can sometimes happen. You guys, again, on your BSC side, and I mean, you guys were very successful of pushing the momentum through from the fair launch to launch. So I guess, I mean, you have the track record, but we want to make sure we duplicate the success on this one, right?
Sure. I mean, look, at the end of the day, you've got the initial volume's probably going to be pretty good. We sustained that for quite a while, and obviously, as a holder, you're going to benefit from the rewards that you're going to be getting back. So that's the initial kind of thing. Obviously, we know there's always going to be a little decline after the initial excitement, and then you're back to kind of leveling out. And then obviously with the timeline, and Johnny will tell you the timeline for the utilities coming.
Yeah, I just want to touch a little bit on the fair launch too. Like a lot of people are concerned with fair launches. They raise a lot and then there's not a volume and they dump. And that's the reason that happens. This is my personal opinion, is those teams are not honest, because there is no reason for a fair launch to dump. Nobody is in profit on launch at all. So we've never gone below pre-sale price. And that's just something for people to consider, because we're not a team like that. We want to push it forward. And that being said, we're planning to launch within 48 hours after the pre-sale closes. But for timelines for our utilities, the DEX is completed. We're just finishing a little bit of the back end stuff, like setting up the nodes and the APIs. And we haven't decided exact date we're going to go live with it, because we just want to get through this launch and then decide on the right time. So our utilities are done already, like the DEX and the wallet. It's just setting up a few of the back end stuff, and then we will test it in-house and announce it. And we give a weekly update to our community every week. I'm expecting the DEX to be fully operational within 2 weeks of our launch. And that's fully tested too, in that we're 100% confident it's bug free.
So I guess you guys must have been going through some solid back end testing for the last little while. Like, have you guys been able to, like, have any of your community members gotten any sneak peeks at the testing, or has it all been just done on the back end from the team? We've
showed the community interactive UI UX. That's all they've gone to play with. We partnered with Antier Solutions. I don't know if you know them. They are assisting us with the back-end development of our DEX and wallet. So
do not, but now I get to go do some extra homework after this. That's why I'm honestly an AMA host, is because of the learning aspect. So I'm excited.
Yeah, they're not a token project, but
yeah,
they
that's
blockchain
good.
development company.
Awesome. You know what? Honestly, those are the ones you want to partner with, because if there's a token involved on the back end, like, again, you don't know if they're building it up to somehow try and integrate a token into your ecosystem over time. That's always a of mind if you know a third party is used. So awesome. Love that you touched on that right off the bat, Johnny.
And a little bit more detail on our DEX is like, you know, a lot of shitcoin, so to speak, will say they're launching a DEX. All it is forked code, use it piggybacking off of Panckaceswap's endpoints and everything else. That's not the same. We're actually building our own backend infrastructure, our own nodes. It will be extremely fast. We can have cheaper fees and stuff like that. It wasn't just like a copycat, complete, like it's our own backend infrastructure. A lot of people just don't really realize all
Dude,
that is
comment
important.
sorry, it took me a second to come off mute because I was laughing and I sent a funny GIF to my coordinator about the comment you made about the shit coins and their dexes. Because like, yeah. Oh my god. Yeah, we got a 2-day-old meme coin here launching a dex in in the next 24 hours, and then it's dead within like 48 hours after that. It's like, yeah, how'd that dex help your ecosystem, guys? Like that was really good. So yeah, no, again, sorry to kind of take it to a bit of a different place, but that comment just really it shows you guys have seen some of the problems plaguing the space. Now, kind of going off of the Luna Classic theme or like that ecosystem, what are some of the benefits or the the differentiators from your decks and how you can support that burn and that ecosystem, and why people would be more likely to come to you versus one of these other growing competitors? Because again, you know what, I would not put you in the decks of shit coins, but there are still a number of dexes being built and they're all kind of trying to take away from the same market share. So yes, you don't have to compete with the lower end ones, but you will have to kind of compete with those mid tiers trying to scale.
Yeah, and that's true. Like it is a competitive world. Obviously Panckaceswap, Uniswap, they have a big share of that. We have a referral system in for the people that like to make a few dollars by shilling their links and people using the DEX. We have a different fee structure, and it's going to be more lucrative to the LP providers and the yield farmers, so they'll want to use it that way. And then it's the speed too. Like I find sometimes it's pretty slow to use some of the big dexes, and it's inconvenient. And then our fiat on and off ramp. That will be a one place where you don't have to, no hassles to get your money into crypto, out of crypto, and we're integrating that all into the same system. So yeah, we have a lot of the same features and it is competitive, but it's also, why should we, our community, use another DEX to swap inside our community kind of thing? It's like, why are we giving money to other competitors when we can actually bring it all in-house? And that's kind of where it started off with, and then we'll expand from there and give perks along the way, and you can have trading bonuses and so on.
Yeah, now when you say perks, now is this going to be something that comes based on maybe a volume that you're putting through the DEX, or would it be coming through based on how much of the Lunatics token you may be holding personally?
I think we haven't quite decided on that, and I think I'm going to work it out probably more so on trading volume through it,
Like
because
that
that
too,
will
because
actually benefit.
exactly. Because the other thing, and sometimes I word these questions and they're almost like trap questions or leading questions just to see what the response is, because what we've seen is if it's hold Lunati or hold our token to use our DEX, it's creating a use case, quote unquote, but it's not creating value. It's just creating a cyclical effect within your own ecosystem that doesn't actually pull people in from the outside, if that makes sense. So what you mentioned from a volume perspective, it gives more reason for people to trade through your DEX, because that's going to see the benefit versus, hold $500 of this, you get tiered premium features, right? So awesome. Thanks for jumping
Yeah,
into that.
like,
It's a smart move to do.
if you're a big BNB trader or whatever, and you trade $10,000 a month, but you don't have no interest in our token, but if our DEX provides you a faster, convenient, more perks, and you use it, you're benefiting us anyways. So that's the key, bringing them all the volume in, whether they're holders of our token or not.
I think that again, if I was the decision maker, I would pick that of the two methods as well. So I think that very smartly chosen. And I think we've covered off the basic kind of utility that's coming up. I don't want to get too far into the roadmap for the future because again, I understand that roadmaps and these things can progress over time. And as you touched on it a few times, I think each of you touched on it once. You guys have been, responsive to your community and to, assessing things that have been brought to you from them throughout. And, I'm not going to touch too far down the roadmap because again, something could come up. There could be a shift or a trend in the industry, in the space that adds value into the project, and that could be something new you guys develop. So I do want to ask a question because it's been a little bit refreshing. I mean, we've had no touching or no discussion about AI yet, which is almost like rare. I know it's going to come from a community member, or there may already be a question sent to my coordinator about AI. So I'm going to touch it on head on. So you guys plan or not on incorporating it? I think it can be utilized effectively, but if it's just, oh, we got AI in here because there's, it's a trend, then no. But if you guys can do it in a way to automate something that adds value or helps with the burn mechanism, whatever, sure. So that's kind of where my question stems on that, because it is, the most talked about trend right now.
Well, we do have an AI chat bot. We haven't put it into our main chat yet because we're still playing with it. And that's just for community. It actually helps us answer questions and people can get info right from the AI. In my opinion, AI isn't really retail yet. I think there's still lots of development. I know there's a lot of coins that say this AI, but they don't have anything. They don't even have the backend infrastructure to support an AI computational system. Like, it's expensive. I'm not against AI. I think when it's ready and it's practical for our project, we would incorporate it. I know the Exodus Metaverse, they are working more with it, and we're a large partnership in that. So that may be more our AI route. At this time, it's like we're doing what makes sense and what's like feasible financially. I just don't think AI is commercial yet or retail.
Thought we were going to rebrand Lunatics AI.
Yeah.
I agree. It's something that, again, if utilized just for the community or something like as a value add, it again can be definitely fits or can add value and makes things a little bit easier. But was just kind of curious how you guys foresee, because it is really the most talked about thing right now in the space. I mean, unfortunately for me, because in my position it gets a little old, but I mean it is good and bad. I do obviously like AI because it helps automate people or automate things. I mean, from a global perspective, yes, I think AI adds a lot of value because it can help with education, it can help with language barriers, it can help with so many things in the learning and the educational aspect that, I mean, somebody in my position kind of has to be for AI. And its progression. But yeah, no, awesome. We won't jump into that anymore, but I was just curious. So we'll wait for more information on the chatbot and see how that can just, again, be rolled out to add, a little bit more fun and, element to your community.
Yeah, Cracovia, our dev, is built the chatbot, and we're constantly improving it. So it's just going to be a tool for us to use to educate, like, onboard new users. And be some fun.
I love it, guys. So I don't know if there's anything, we've touched on the burn, we've touched on where you guys rank the oversight committee, that's all of the burn, kind of the Lunatera, future utility token. Talked about this coming in. I'm just trying to go through my mental checklist and see.
Yeah, no worries. I think just touching on the Luna burn thing and stuff. Obviously, when we first started out, we we were heavily focused on the Luna community, and obviously that's how, you know, we all came about, and that was the main interest. But we've developed so much from that. We've got our channels there. We're going to continue burning, going on chain, increasing the burn with that, bringing utilities to the chain. But when kind of people say like, oh, I've got nothing to do with Luna, or, you know, I've never held Luna, you don't really have to think of it like that anymore. We've created so much now, and the direction that we're going in, we're like a full package. So like, you may have no interest in Luna, but, you know, receiving Luna rewards is not going to hurt you. The utilities that we're bringing and developing, you know, they're going to be like use case for every kind of crypto holder. It's not just specifically directed to Luna anymore. So it's literally a full package. We are a community-based token, heavily kind of influence with, you know, the Luna community, but obviously we're looking to build so much more than that.
No, I love it. And again, it's kind of like that. I think what you just touched on is kind of like the perfect analogy for like, don't forget your roots, right? Like you obviously have to show homage to where you came from, and some of the, you know, recognition, eyes, and growth that you guys saw in the early stages, being able to, you know, quote unquote, play off the success or the established community over there at LUNC. But yeah, moving forward, kind of finding your own path and really establishing, you know, Lunati and Lunatics as its own brand alongside the, you know, the larger scale or the grander scheme is really important. So I think you did summarize that quite well. Now, again, if there's anything you think we missed or any, you know, important pieces you really wanted to cover, definitely let me know. I mean, we can get some questions in here on the back end as well, because I know our community had the chance to AMA with you. I mean, if they're like me, they probably bought in and then forgot they were holding this one, and then saw Lunatics start making some noise again recently. We're like, oh, I got to go check my bag, because like that's kind of how I am with most projects I buy into, especially when, you know, they've been around for a long time. I don't really check charts. I don't pay, you know, much attention to them. But then I'll see them in the news, or I'll see them on a post, or I'll see them somewhere. I'll be like, oh man, I was holding that. I got to go see what's up. And then I'll jump in to kind of reconnect and see what's going. So, you know, you guys can have a couple minutes to open mic it if we forgot anything, and then I'll jump in with some community Q&A.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks. I think we touched on the fact that you know, even though we our community doesn't, I think the community that's really with us never look at the charts. They never base their kind of like daily kind of events on waiting on chart movement. But like Johnny touched on before, I think we launched back in July, 800k starting market cap. We've never been less than still less than 2.5x from launch. Never dipped below that. Always been consistent in you know, support. So I mean, that's pretty amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a chart of a project that's launched and never dipped below their starting market cap. So the support has been and the loyalty from the investors has been amazing.
I think that's the perfect kind of transition here, guys. So I'm going to pull in some questions from the community. So we're going to start off with Damien here. So Damien, whenever you're ready, jump in. You may have actually been in the AMA with them back in July. I don't even remember, but you've been around for forever.
Yeah, I was there and I missed out on it. So I did wish I invested in it. But yeah. My question is, what do you have in store for all of your holders on the BNB chain? And do you plan on bridging the two together? Very simple. Thank you.
You got that, Johnny?
Yeah, no, the BSC chain is not forgotten. We're just expanding. The bridge will come after. We don't want to do it right away. We want to let the east side trade naturally and settle down, and we will have bridging for any chain. We are planning to go to the Terra chain as well as soon as the layer 1 upgrades are complete, and we will bridge everything all together, and each chain will work together. The BSC may have a better staking platform versus ETH, and each utility will kind of have a little perk to itself, but in all, it's to use our utilities altogether. That's why. So like nothing's being left behind. I know everybody's confused about that. Oh, they're migrating or they're relaunching. No, we're not. We're just expanding our project, and we'll take care of everyone.
Awesome. One more thing too. So last year when you guys launched, there was a lot of eyes on you know, Luna, anything involved with Luna, and I think that, you know, was a really big catalyst in the success of the project. Now, what do you plan on doing differently this time? You know, you guys are raising a lot of ETH. What are you guys gonna do to battle the, you know, the sell pressure and make sure there's enough buy pressure? Thank you.
Well, we have a pretty thorough marketing plan in place as well to gain fresh eyes. We also have utilities and more utilities coming out this time. Last time was kind of in the hype, and we were doing really well, and I think we would have held a better market cap, but as everyone knows, FTX crashed, and that just killed the market there. But we've been maintaining pretty solid after that. I think it's just build. Yeah, there's pumps and dumps and volume, that marketing, but really you just got to keep building and bringing in more users by creating awareness, word of mouth, and marketing.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna keep this one on tabs, and good luck with the fair launch. Thank you.
Thanks.
So much, David. Appreciate you jumping in. So we're gonna go. You guys know I like to go kind of one-on-one from the audience and live. So we're gonna get in here. So question here. I'm having a little bit of difficulty interpreting that one, so I might have to get Hussein up to ask that one live. Hussein, if you throw your hand up, I'll get you in to ask your question live. I'm going to read one here from James Greed. Have you considered creating collectible cards featuring the same design as your NFTs, considering they're very high quality and the popularity of Luna in the space? I believe this could be a really valuable crypto memorabilia, especially considering how big their brand is.
We have actually thought about that, a trading card collection of our BSC NFTs. And that may end up in our merchandise store. Like, that's something I don't know if we've mentioned. We do have a merchandise store, and it's quite popular with our community. So that might come in the future. The NFTs, all of our NFTs produced, we do. If you look at my little profile picture, it's actually a sneak peek of our ETH NFTs, and all of these NFTs actually integrate into our metaverse. We do have NFTs launched on the Terra Classic chain under the Exodus collection and Miata, and that is as well items that will be in the metaverse. So these little merch things, like, as we go, we'll put them on when it makes sense to do it. Right now, the trading card thing is just an idea, just a thought.
Awesome. I just responded back. There's a couple questions. So again, Hussein had he had a question about the NFT collection and potentially pushing that to collectibles. So maybe I'll get him in as well, because he had a different take on it. It is a bit wordier, so I couldn't really interpret it, but I do want to give him a chance because he said some really good ones in the past. So.
Hello. Can you hear me, guys?
Got you there, Hussein. I know it seems like the mic's fixed its issues from earlier. Whenever you're ready.
Hello? Can you hear me, Morris?
Yep, we got you. Loud and clear.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. So the question is, I read incredible 3D artwork in your website. Uh, your line of 2000 NFTs on BSC as impressive as collectibles. In my opinion, there are still a few problems that artists face. One is that most artists do not know about NFT, and those artists who do not know about NFTs, they cannot simply digitize their work. So, would there be an option to scan the artwork and convert into a 3D digital NFT with the help of any computer vision algorithm? Did you get my question?
Yeah, I got your question. That is something Lunatics we are not developing. We aren't creating an NFT creator or marketplace at this time. That isn't even in our roadmap. But I do believe there is some decent software out there for people to create and generate 3D images. Offhand, I do not know. You'd have to look at it up yourself.
Okay, got it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for saying, and yeah, no, I agree with you. You know, their design work on those are quite nice. So, if they could add that quality to other projects and monetize it, I guess that's where the kind of the question came from. But yeah,
Yeah, Maurice,
I,
just to touch on that, our NFTs actually were created by a community member. So that's the kind of support we get. We
damn,
have
that guy
communities stepping up all the time.
needs to get hired as an
But
NFT designer, I think.
Morris, it's helpful for 3D artwork. If in future you guys have a plan, I think it's very good for 3D artwork.
Oh, I think I'm a big fan of those 3D ones as well. I do. I mean, again, I've said it as well. I think the design and like the concept on this one is really solid. You know, obviously they wouldn't be here still. I think 8 months later on a on a project that, yeah, is kind of at its core when it first launched was built around a meme concept and something that 100 other projects were trying to do at the time, which is burn Luna Classic. But they set themselves apart and they're still here. And I will say, the quality that you guys put out within the project has always been pretty good. So, I mean, yeah, I know it's not in the roadmap, but I think just based on quality, if you guys ever did go down that route, you definitely have some interest in them.
Okay, thank you, Morris, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, and best of luck for your job, man.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate you taking the time to jump in and, looking at the artwork as well. I really do like what these guys are building. So let me go here. Next one from the audience. That one's kind of not really relative. Okay, so this is an interesting question. This one's from Gemina. She said there's two projects that I've been involved with in the past to help with the sustainability of staking, that a specific wallet can only stake and unstake 5 times. Have you guys thought about implementing that type of mechanism in this project? Haven't heard of something like that before. I kind of liked it.
Yeah, that is actually interesting. No, we haven't not thought of that. I don't like limitations. I think every time you restrict, then you're controlling, and it's supposed to be free trade of everything, even staking. Because I mean, what's the difference if somebody just creates another wallet then? Like, it is a neat idea, but at the same time, it can be a loophole around anyways. So it's something I would look into more. Maybe there is different options, but once the person's reached their 5 times, they would just create a new wallet and do it.
Yeah, and plus we don't have any transfer tax between wallet to wallet, so there's no kind of anything stopping anyone from moving wallets and creating new wallets to then restake. It's just something that we never wanted to do. We never wanted to restrict people from moving tokens, giving tokens to people, and having to lose out because of it.
No,
Yeah,
I'm kind of on the same mindset as Johnny. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of restrictions. But again, there would be a workaround, like Sega said. You could essentially, because there's no transfer tax, go through your 5 stakes and then transfer it to a different wallet, and then use that wallet to stake through that. So again, there are workarounds. So people will always find a way, try and beat the system. I get it, but definitely a cool idea if done in a way that benefits the project.
Yeah, like our NFTs, I know we didn't really touch on that, but our NFTs aren't just a pretty picture and then we get your funds and that's it. Like we are putting it in the metaverse too, but for the short term, our NFTs are all stakeable. But in that case, we do have it in place where they can only be staked once. You stake it, you let it run the duration, you unstake it, it cannot be staked again. That way people, when they're buying on the secondary markets like Tofu or wherever, they can check to see if it's been staked. If it hasn't, then they know they'll get tokens for it. If it has, they know that its value is less because they're not going to get any tokens.
So it's not yeah, because I guess it's the same thing as a transfer. Like somebody could try and manipulate it. I was going to say, if it's sold, technically sold, would there be the way that somebody could maybe reset it? But I don't know, because you could almost in theory just sell it to yourself on another wallet, and yeah, there's always manipulations that can occur. So yeah, that's a cool kind of value add for those NFTs that aren't staked yet on the secondary market.
Yeah, and it's tied to the ID itself. So if it's been staked once, it can never be staked again. Doesn't matter who it gets transferred to. It's not tied to the minter's wallet or the owner wallet.
That's a pretty, trying to rack my brain out, think about some NFT staking projects I've been involved, but I don't know if there's been a cap or a maximum. So that, yeah, it really makes it kind of cool. And you have to be very mindful then, or strategic when you're looking on the secondary market, because some will have more value, and that could, make it make sense why maybe some NFTs, if you look right now, are more expensive than others. So
yeah, and you can check on our own. You can check on our own website. You put in the NFT ID and it will tell you if you can stake it or not. So you can tell ahead of time before you buy and so on.
No, again, sorry, I kind of keep stuck on that because that's really different. So now when you're staking, what types of returns are you looking at, and what's the lock period?
So on the BSC side now, we have 4 different locks, I believe. I'm just going to pull it up quickly. So the NFT staking is it's by the rarity. So it's the same amount of tokens per second for all NFTs, but depending on your rarity, 1 moon to 5 moon, you get a longer staking duration. So you accumulate more tokens. And with that as well, these tokens you're accumulating rewards, these Lunatics tokens, you're also getting Luna Classic rewards from that. So you're getting 2 sources of income. On the V2, let's see if I can pull it up. I believe it's 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, and a year, or it's 3, 6, and 1 year. And that how our staking system is a little bit unique, actually. A lot of people don't realize it, but if I would stake 100 million Lunatics tokens, for 1 year, which is 48%, it allocates 148 million to my staking contract. So now I am collecting Luna Classic rewards as well off of 148 million, even though I haven't received those 148 million yet. Right from the day I stake, I'm getting Luna Classic percentage rewards on 148 million. Plus, I'm getting my Lunatics rewards that I can claim daily. And then at the end of the stake, I can unstake and I will have all my Lunatics tokens plus all the Luna Classic. So it's a little bit of a different system.
You almost have to kind of play the game too when you're looking to stake to figure out, because you can only do it once, like which lock period makes the most sense for you too. So like again, you know, it's kind of unique. It's a lot more thought has to actually go into this process than is standard for, you know, NFT staking.
Yeah, like our NFTs is different, and then our regular Lunatics token too is a little unique compared to most. Most of the time you stake a rewards token, you don't get those rewards. You're not part of that volume-based rewards pool anymore. In our system, you are, and you're part of the pool for your full value of your staking period. So it's a beneficial system, and that's why our community loves it so much, and they just sit there living off passive income.
So passively, what types of returns, I guess, have your community been looking at over your runtime? I mean, I know, you know, various holders are going to see bigger or smaller amounts depending on their, you know, their supply staked. I get that, but you know, that aside, what types of rewards have been going back to the community in, you know, in the first few months?
Well, just in Luna Classic, not even the Lunatic staking rewards, just in Luna Classic, we have distributed $1 million worth in the last 7 months.
Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
no, that's Luna Classic. That's like not a percentage of that doesn't have to be burned. Like that's just essentially in the user's hands. There's Luna Classic, right? Like they can
that
do
is,
with it as they choose.
That's right. That's straight to the holder's wallets, not ours, nothing. We have burnt close to 2.2 billion, which is, I guess, what is that, like 40% of what we've rewarded. The rewards are our rewards tax. It's nothing that's been in our control. It's an automatic system that if you're holding our token, you get these Luna Classic rewards. And we've done just around $1 million worth in 7 months.
Wow. That's I mean, that's how you get the community support you've gotten. So I mean, makes sense to me. Now we're gonna go here to potentially newer listener here. Don't know if we've had her in before. Irene, we'll try and give you a shot here, Irene, at a question. Hope your mic is okay for us. Cool. And Gemina was really happy with your answer too. I did want to just point that out. So thank you for that.
Well, thanks for the questions.
Okay, so Irene, if you are able to jump on the mic, the floor is yours. I know you did send me the question as well, which I took a look at, and you know you can jump in if your mic's working. Otherwise, I could always try and throw the question in. But I'd like to. Oh, there we go.
You have already selected some validators. Will their validation ever expire so that some other people can get validated too and receive the rewards attached to these?
Awesome. Thank you so much for the question, Irene. Just asking validator selection process.
Okay, so yeah, on Luna Classic, you can go on to stake and then you get a validator selection. There's only 130 active validators. at one time, which we have our validator. It's called Lunatics Treasury Validator. So you can stake with us your Luna Classic tokens and get rewards in Luna Classic. Yeah, that's all that it is. Anything you stake there, we don't get the rewards. The stakeholder does.
No, I appreciate that. And Irene, I appreciate you taking the time to go into the detail of what their staking program looks like and asking about the question today. First time we've heard from you, but was a good one. I'm going to go here and get another one in from the community.
Yeah, and just to touch a little bit on the rewards, if people go to our website and there's where our contract address is on the main page, there's analytics. You click on that and it'll show you the rewards, the amount we burnt, circulating supply, and all that info about our token.
Awesome. No, I appreciate that, guys. And I do have another question here that I'm going to go to. Where'd Buck go? There he is. Oh man, that's sending Buck. Nice. We have perfect. So this one's from Dre. Oh no, sorry, D Remarkable Prince. Okay. So D Remarkable Prince. I see that you guys, when you rolled out your private sale, you had somewhat of a unique setup with regards to the rules and punishment for those who went above their daily selling limits. What was the response to that? Do you guys have any plan of implementing that on the Ethereum side? Was there a private sale in place here? And then he has a second question about listings, but I will give you time to answer the first one.
Yeah, I mean, when we first launched on the BSC side, obviously it was the first time we'd come to create the token, so obviously we needed to raise the initial funds, and that was done in a private round of funding. And yeah, there was, but I think it was a unique way we kind of put that private selection together. It was very selective. It was all people that was known to the project through the team recommendations, people that we knew that were going to kind of diamond hand the project. And a lot of people say they're going to diamond hand the project, but sometimes they never do. And obviously with the success of the pre-sale, and they had a decent amount of tokens, we thought we had to put some extra measures in place. So we did have some selling restrictions on that. And to be honest, they stood by the project amazingly well. It's one reason as well why I think, you know, we never dropped below the starting market cap. They truly did diamond hand the project. I think probably 95% of the private holders from the first round still hold their tokens. So a very small amount has been sold. They was all sold within the restrictions, so no one broke the rules. Apart from one time, it was a mistake, but they still paid the penalties. But you know, it was just you know, it's one rule for all, so we had to follow through. But that was truly just a mistake, and it was unfortunate that we had to follow through, but we felt, because we promised it to the community, that we would have to. And yeah, they've solid, and I think that our communities appreciate the way they stood by the project as well. You know, they've been amazing. Well, with regards to the ETH side, obviously the project can kind of take care of itself now, you know, with funds and launching on the ETH side. So there is no private round of funding in on the ETH side. So everyone who wants to buy tokens and the pre-sale, they have to do it from their own pocket. And yeah, it's a fair feel to everybody.
Perfect. And again, I appreciate you jumping in. And then the next question here from D Remarkable was just about what you guys are planning to do with regards to your listing strategies. If you guys are on any centralized exchanges right now, on the BSC side, and if you guys plan to expand, once you go multi-chain.
Yeah, we're trading on LBank at the minute and coining, so central exchanges. Obviously, all the dexes, Panckaceswap, EverSwap, and after Sunday we'll be on Uniswap. There are plans, obviously, to hit more central exchanges. We are kind of in talks with a couple of good ones, ones that we feel will be a right fit for us. And yeah, so definitely. But at the minute, yeah, we are trading on probably the most popular one that people will recognize is LBank.
I'll send them a quick note back, and then we'll get maybe another question or two here from the audience. And again, I know we were only scheduled for an hour, guys, and been nice enough to give us some time. I'll say probably 5 more minutes because I know you have that AMA with the hideout coming up in 30, and I do want to give 25 minutes to get some water, reset, catch your breath, because we've been going for a while. So I do appreciate the extra time, but I am mindful of what's coming up. So we'll give you another 5, and then we'll move to closing statements if that's okay.
Cool.
Awesome. Thank you so much, guys. So we'll get one last question in here. Greenlist Jack, I know you sent a question about the what was it? I think you sent me one in DMs. Not really sure if that one's really relevant at this point. So I'm going to kind of move on to the next one. I will go here to more so. Let's try Fizza. She had a good one earlier. Or was that yesterday? No, it was yesterday. Let's see if she can go 2 for 2 last 2 times.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hey, what's going on, Fizza?
I'm good. Thank you, Maurice.
Go ahead with your
Can I
question.
ask
Whenever you're ready.
Okay. My question is, I read in roadmap in phase 5, Lunatic community voting depth at the end of the best my knowledge voting. Token holders and community involvement are really tricky situation because it gives power to the community, but it also allows for unnecessary delays. When super fast acquisitions of certain things are needed into project at some point, how then do you intend to balance this, give power to the community, and also avoid the challenges accompanied?
No, that's actually a really well phrased question. So thank you for dropping that in, Fizza. So I hope mic problems weren't were okay for everybody. Everybody heard the question. If you had any issues, I can kind of restate it. But she was just more so asking about how do you manage the upcoming transition to more of a community or a DAO focused on phase 5 with sometimes there being delays or slowdowns when you're talking about community voting or polls, and how do you use it on more quick to action items that need to be implemented, like finding that balance between the community DAO and then maybe items that and you can handle, but you want to get done quickly.
Okay, that was actually a really good question because I don't look at the voting DApp that way. But now I know it needs clarification. That voting DApp is more so on how our community votes on Luna Classic governance proposals. So it gives our community the voice within for our validator. As a validator, Luna Classic is governed by the validators, so we have to vote on proposals. And we usually just discuss it with our community, but we were planning to put in a DApp where it's easier. We just put up the current Luna Classic governance and our community can vote which way they like, and then we vote according to what our community wants. As for Lunatics being a DAO, that isn't in the roadmap right at this time. The project isn't ready for that. It has to be established first and sustainable, and then it would be maybe something considered in the future. So now I know that needs clarification for new people.
Okay,
Again,
thank you so much. Best of luck
I thought that
process.
was a really well stated and well worded question, Fizza. So great job. You know,
Thank
since you first joined in probably 8 months ago, your questions have really gotten really solid. So good work.
thank you, Maru.
Yeah, it was really
Thank
good
you so
because sometimes we don't think, you're so used to knowing all the information, you forget that people coming in don't necessarily know everything going on.
That's exactly it, right? And sometimes when you get out of the community, it's like having to balance the people who are actually there for the right reasons and those who are looking for the quick buck. And it's a very difficult kind of transition. So yeah, a good thing to bring up because that will, likely in the future cause, as staking did, cause a bit of a learning experience probably. So
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah, so again, I don't want to keep you longer. We said 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes on the nose. I do want to give you 25 here, guys, to make sure you have some time to disconnect. For anybody who maybe wasn't able to get a question in, they do have another AMA here coming up, with the Lunatics team. They're going over to the crypto hideout. I think it's with Mist who runs that one over there, if I'm not mistaken. I saw the pinned message on their community when I was in there earlier. So if you guys want to get, a little bit more info on this one, or you joined late in the AMA, because I know our numbers were kind of going up throughout. You guys could always jump into the AMA they have upcoming. We're done here for the day. It's all about learning about the projects that come here so that you guys are able to make the most informed decision possible. So yeah, if you guys want, you can go jump in with the team over on their next AMA. If you didn't have a chance to get your question answered or you joined a little late, but from my end, again, really wanted to say thank you all. I mean, all four of you for taking the time out of your day to jump in and just update our community. As mentioned, it's not as often as I would like, unfortunately, in the space that I get to host teams and host projects. Every couple of months. Caesar and myself are bringing in something that's going to be rolled out probably next quarter. That's going to be more of like a quarterly update thing with some of like the bigger projects or projects that we've been working with for some time. So, we'll definitely keep in touch on that, guys, because it's something that more is done in traditional business, but everything in crypto is a bit more transactional, and to get away from that model where, this is something that we're going to be doing. So yeah, we'll have an update on that when it comes, but it's for me always a pleasure to get to work with teams that we've hosted and see the progress. Sega said it best. It's been a bloody market, but how many projects have you guys been in, that have been around for 8 or 9 months that haven't yet gone, below launch price? That's an accomplishment. So I do have to, that statement you made really stood out to me throughout, and I definitely wanted to touch on it at the end when I close. But again, guys, always, do your research. It's, the guys would say the same thing, that they're not up here giving you financial advice, but for me it's very refreshing, and it's a lot more of an enjoyable conversation when it's based on something we've talked about before. We've seen the development, they're still around, and they're pushing kind of that next leg. So guys, I'll throw you the mic to close out officially, and then go crush it on your next AMA at 8 p.m.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, me personally, I just want to say thank you for giving us the time again. But yeah, also like you just said, I mean, it's not about forcing people or rushing people to make a decision. Another reason why this time around, the first time around, it was a 24-hour pre-sale. This time around, it's a 5-day pre-sale. It gives plenty of, and that's why we decided to do these AMAs during the pre-sale, so people do get a chance to listen in. They do get a chance to walk away, take their time, do some due diligence. And then obviously if they obviously decide to come on the journey with us, that's great. But yeah, it's all about being safe out there, and that's what we've always promoted from the beginning.
Yeah, I just want to say thanks for having us here. It's always great AMAs in Caesars. And yeah, we have a 5-day pre-sale. It gives people plenty of time to come to many AMAs and learn as much as they can about us before they make that decision.
Dunk wanted to jump in as well, but again, Sega, Johnny, it was really great to have both of you guys back out here, and some of the accomplishments we'll take away. Number 3 still on the top burn list for Luna Classic, before these centralized exchanges started getting involved. You know, they were sitting number one. They're on the oversight committee as well. Can you guys find that all on the website or in the white paper link? Because if so, I want to go back and look more on the oversight side, because that's really from like a, you know, scalability or real world perspective, like that gives you guys a lot of credibility. So I mean, definitely let me know where I could go and find that. But you guys have clearly accomplished some good things in support of that project, and I'm excited to see now how you guys can keep growing up like the Luna T brand over here.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate the time, and thanks everyone for listening in.
Again, anybody
Thanks, Morris.
has questions, they're over there at Crypto Hideout Next. You guys can join in there with them. You can find where that is through their community. Just scroll up on the pin messages and you can find the location. So again, guys, you know, have a good next AMA. I really appreciate the time. Fair launch closes on the 17th at 5 p.m. UTC. For anybody to looking to jump in, you can do that before then on Panckaceswap. Already well over the cap, which is again, I think a great indication of the eyes you've still had on you. And you know, have a good rest of the night, boys. Good luck on the next one.
Thank you, man. Good night.
All right, take care, boys. I'll send the recording over to. Probably send it to Sega, and I'll send it to your marketer, Supremo, just so like you guys can both have it. And then that way, if anybody's ever offline, you know, the copy's there. So again, have a great night, Duncan, and go kill that next AMA, man.
Cheers, Morris. Thanks ever so much. Take care, man.
Take care.
Speak soon.
Awesome. So
Thanks.
Buck, we'll get you to come off mute. We'll go handle these. I got to give Fizza best question here for that one. Really loved her kind of her suggestion there. Really, really solid. Yeah, I gotta do it on that one because really, really well worded too. Just really, really good. So best question there goes to Fizza on this one. Also, Buck, you know the deal. It's gonna just be a bonus one when I kind of get that. I'll do it bonus, and then we'll do our two standard questions on the wheel spin, because I would say all the ones that came through or were asked were good. You know, I was a bit more selective with this one. We only got about 7 or 8 in, but they were all high quality. So we will kind of give everybody the chance, and then Fizz is going to win the best question there, because really, really impressed me with you know, her last few.
Yeah, no, you actually snuck 11 questions in this one, a little bit more than you thought. So
I thought I only had 7 or 8, so wow, that went quicker than I thought. So that's not too bad. Yeah, so Buck, you know the deal on those. You'll post those all in the VC afterwards. And then, yeah, for me, we'll get our 2 random listeners here done. So if you want to start that scroll, we'll fire it up. Also, guys, if you're bored tonight, you know, if you don't have anything else going on, you guys know Papa Stonks, you know, one of the beauties from the Squid Grow community. You know, he runs his own lounge there at Astronaut Lounge. You know, he's going to be jumping in for a fireside chat with Will Coin Talk. I'm going to be putting up a tweet about it because, again, you know, I'm a big fan of his. He's been doing a lot of stuff kind of on the back end to help Buck and support Buck with some team introductions and some plays. So, yeah, like he again, you know, one of the nicest guys. He is a tough man to impress on the mic. I will say that. Papa really gives it to you, you know, if your project's looking a little questionable. So, you know, he's a great follow. He's an awesome, like really is one of the nicer guys I've come across in the space. So again, I'm going to put up a tweet, you know, it's got his Telegram lounge linked into it. If you guys want to jump in and, you know, follow his journey along, you guys definitely welcome to do so. I think you have to be approved to join in. So obviously if he gets mass flooded with requests, he's going to know, like, you know, he might be like, what the heck happened? But yeah, I haven't told him I'm going to give him a shout out, but yeah, he's just such a nice dude. Honestly, like really, we just try and support guys who are trying to do good in the space. And, you know, Papa's definitely one of those. So I try and show some love where we can.
Yeah, he's a
Same
beauty.
with Phantom. Phantom got to pop in and be a guest speaker on the panel for that massive coin merge space we did. They had like over 2,000 people tune in like to that already and listen back to it. And Phantom got to jump in and pitch his new role with Flash Technologies and
It was
that kind of stuff. Yeah, what's up? It's that kind of stuff, you know. It's like that kind of stuff that like really gets you out of bed in the morning. I mean, being able to contribute and help people in the community and, you know, see people grow their own brands and stuff. I mean, I've said it. There is so much opportunity in this space. People who try and, you know, hold on to their little piece of the pie and like won't let it go because they're afraid the second they introduce somebody else to their own community, they're gonna lose them because they're that, you know, insecure of the quality of the job they do. Like that's the private channels you don't want to be following. Like again, I'm confident about what we do. So is Caesar. Caesar's been literally putting up a weekly, hey, go follow these channels. They post good plays and like literally giving live reviews on them on his channel. Like we do it a little bit differently here. I mean, he said that I don't want to use that cheesy ass line that he uses because I think it's cheesy. I troll him on it every time he posts it, just like friends do. But again, you know, it is kind of, I would say it's true. You know, I'm all about the space and the space being better. You know, Papa's been doing a lot of stuff to try and help Buck out. He's just a genuinely nice dude who cares. And there's not enough of, I mean, there are a lot of them in the space, but not enough of them get the recognition or maybe have the voices that they deserve. So that's where kind of I'm hoping to come into play. And yeah, he's just an absolute gem. One of my favorites. Straight shooter. But yeah, so Buck, scroll number 1. Let's see what we got today. We'll
Scroll's
go 5.
going.
Stop.
Mike Gaville.
Ooh, a new mic. Might be a new mic.
It is a new mic.
Because we got Crypto Mill Mike. He's always here. We got Mike Diaz. He's always pretty active. Who else we got? We got, I mean, Mike at Dream Calls. I mean, he's the OG Mike, I would say, on this channel. Being that he's been in these AMAs since December when we first started. But yeah, I mean, he's got his own little thing going there too. Crypto Bulls Calls. They've been growing nicely. I think they're around 100 members now. So good on them. And he's a really, really good idea guy, like phenomenal. So I think he'll be able to do some really good things as he scales up his little channel too in the future. But yeah, just an absolute, you know, we've had the pleasure of just meeting so many really, really solid people in the space. I mean, we've had some community members looking back, like, I mean, still, like, you know, we'll always have a soft spot here for Papa Steve and everybody. We'll have like DC, Willie. I mean, look at some of the old ones back in the day that Dez. You guys remember Dez back in the day, the old trivia champion of the world? He was always active. Jedi's been here since, I literally still know his skills in depth username, and I haven't paid him a reward and I don't even know how long. That's how many times that dude won trivia or was on the trivia wheel. Like, he was a machine. And yeah, no, it's really cool. So, I mean, Phantom's been really hitting high gear lately in the space and, you know, making a name for himself, which is great. So we got to give him some love. And you really impressed too. I got a couple messages being like, dude, that guy was from your community. And I'm like, yeah. And
That's
they're
what.
like, yo,
Yeah.
we got the best over here. So yeah, we got
I'm telling you, dude, like,
we got a lot of love in that space. I'm not gonna
we
lie,
really
that
do.
That one
really
looked
did.
good because the A1 was like, if you guys want good plays, because they were talking about meme coins, you know, David Gockstein was in there, and you know, everybody knows who he is, and it was actually him, like him, not just somebody repping his company. I mean, somebody was also repping the company profile in, but he actually joined in, and they were shooting the shit about meme coins, and him and Patty from Suka know each other in real life because they're both Jersey boys, and they were like chirping each other, and it was just so much fun. And then we were talking about plays, and you know, I referenced Sharby, and you know, everyone's like, yeah, man, like the fact that we shared Sharby at 4 or 5K, that relationship was a relationship we built through Suka. And you know, not a lot of teams and communities have some of the connections that we've built up over this time. So I mean, even they were like, if you guys want good alpha, like, go follow Caesar's channel. And this was in a space that like 2,000 people listened to. I was like, that was such a nice shout out from them. And yeah, we got a lot of stuff planned. You know, we're slowly growing the team. Like I said, you know, maybe 1 or 2 more people will be jumping on to help me. That, you know, I've already talked to them about it, just with some other arms or branches of the channel. Same thing Caesar says, don't smash me a bunch of DMs or something like that. But it's going to be good because as people get more and more involved, the community will have more and more opportunities for themselves. And yeah, it's just really exciting. And I'm not even getting into anything that Caesar has going on his end. This is just stuff specific to like us, the community, and like what we've been building up here within these AMAs and these networks that we have.
I think it's important to tell people that the whole community, not just Caesar, but the DC and Buck and all that. If you literally just follow along, keep notifications on, there's opportunities all the time coming up. Because I found my opportunity because I was a part of this core group of legit people that are based that only just want everybody to have a good time and everybody grows. Because if everybody's doing good, it props the entire network up. You know what I mean? Like we all keep doing
that's
good.
The thing. So I'm gonna take a little aside, and it's like the whole thing on like so we've taken a lot of fun on the pink sale stuff. I mean, you guys have seen it. Everybody knows that back and forth that occurred. I don't really get involved in it, but I will say the whole point is not to have negativity go towards them or be like bad on them. It's we just want you to do better. You have such like the same thing as us. Like we have a brand, we have a voice. We try and use our voice to do good and to help people, to educate people. Like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure we still have misses, we still have flops of the plays that put on there, and sometimes people are affected from it and we feel terrible. But we try and use our voice for the best that we can for people to improve their own skill set, improve their knowledge, and educate themselves and, better the space. And that's all the message is. It's not, we don't like it, death to this, death to that. That is not it. And I think people are taking the negative approach. I get it. People have lost money. I've lost money. The channel's reputation is obviously, most of the hits we've taken have been associated to that aspect. So, I mean, we've obviously taken a hit there too, but my point is not to go negative. It's just about what Phantom exactly said. If everyone is doing better, the space is doing better. The whole point of this movement right now is not to be negative or, death to this, death to that. It's for the space to improve. And if this catalyst has to be the catalyst, and we have to be the ones to take a bit of a hit or get our name maybe dragged through the mud a little bit to stand up, then so be it, because it is the time for that to happen. And I think a lot of the noise that's come up around this movement has shown that we're not the only ones who feel this way. So, I mean, again, please take what I said as what it was intended to be said. It's not, we don't like them because there's no place for them. Listen, there's a lot of place for them. They've built up a very impressive brand and a very impressive platform to have that much of the volume in place. But now it comes the point where what are you going to do with that network and that brand you've built? Are you going to use it for good? And if so,